Hey there, Scoobies. If you're watching this, then I assume you're a fan of the show, and this doesn't need to be said, but I'm going to do it anyway. With that out of the way, I wanted to look at each of the characters in turn, most notably the core Scooby gang that act as facets of Buffy herself. I already looked at the way in which Cordelia acts as a mirror for Buffy, showing her the way she used to be. In this video, I intend to look at her spirit. Ah, Willow. Sweet, innocent Willow.
Well, look at me. I'm all fuzzy.
Established early on as a nerdy bookworm with a budding career in software development or maybe sci-fi hacking.
I accidentally decrypted the city council's security system.
It's replicating, eating up memory. What do I do?
Type cookie, you idiot.
Willow is the representation of Buffy's spirit. Unlike Giles and Xander, I have often found the spirit a little more difficult to pin down as a representation. As far as I can tell, she is literally Buffy's soul, and as I will hopefully demonstrate, the effects of Buffy and Willow's story arcs have profound effects on both their characters. The vampires in the Buffyverse are often considered soulless beings, monsters that are driven purely by their base desires and often capable of great evil. Willow's character exudes the very opposite of that, so I think she represents the childlike innocence and purity of Buffy's soul. Something that takes a bit of a bashing as the show goes on. But we'll get there. The purity of Buffy's spirit is defined by Willow's core character. She can be gullible, adorable, strong, and unfortunately corruptible. The show continues to define this role through her optimism and hope. In the episode Innocence, I found the following scene interesting.
What do you mean?
Well, something set it off. Some event must have triggered his transformation. Well, if anyone would know, Buffy, it should be you.
I don't.
Well, did anything happen last night that
Giles, please. I can't.
Buffy, I'm sorry, but we can't afford to... Buffy!
Giles, shut up.
Many would argue that it was probably woman's intuition or her close friendship with Buffy that meant she understood what had just happened, and they'd be right. But I think this scene is showing us more. Giles represents Buffy's mind. At this moment, she is reeling from a traumatic event that has cut her very deeply. Her mind is reeling with questions, trying to understand, to create logical conclusions that fit the pieces together. But this wound is deep, and though it affects her heart and mind, it's the soul that is truly affected by it. Later in the series, it's also Willow that fights for Angel's soul, which kind of seems apt, despite what he's done. The show may be about Buffy being the one navigating her way to adulthood, literally defeating the obstacles that come up on her journey, but I find Willow is an ever-evolving character throughout. After spending most of her school years as a straight-A student, her discovery of witchcraft has a dual utility for Willow. On the one hand, it's a way of rebelling, doing something taboo and against her nature. On the other hand, the practice of magic is both an art and a science, and gives Willow a new challenge that academia doesn't possess for her anymore.
Willow Rosenberg, despite her unsavory associations, represents the pinnacle of academic achievement at Sunnydale High.
One thing the show is very good at is foreshadowing.
We could be quite a team. If you came around to my way of thinking, would that mean we have to snuggle? That's me as a vampire? So evil and skanky. And I think I'm kind of gay.
But Vamp Willow shows us more than just that. She is the soulless Willow that proves that there is a version of Willow without one.
Till we graduate, I own your ass.
Bored now.
I know you're in pain, but...
Bored now.
In Season 4, Willow has her first run-in with heartache. And she handles it like anyone else.
You spend time together, feelings grow deeper. And one day, without even realizing it, you find you're in love. Time stops. And it feels like the whole world's made for you two, and you two alone. Until the day one of you leaves and rips the still beating heart from the other, who's now a broken, hollow mockery of the human condition.
Yep, that's the plan.
It's no surprise that she seeks comfort in something that has now become a core part of her, and that in turn leads her to... As most BTVS fans know, Willow and Tara's relationship was one of the first on-screen LGBTQ representations, and the studio were nervous about it. It's kind of funny looking back at that now, because most shows flaunt all kinds of relationships nowadays.
The things I do for love.
The silver lining to the studio's intervening is that Joss and the other writers had to get creative with exploring their relationship, and this led to better TV.
Surging like the sea, pull to you so helplessly. I break with every swell, lost in ecstasy, spread beneath my willow tree. You make me complete.
I bet they're not even working.
But here's where Willow's downfall begins. Willow starts to overuse magic, and Tara, also practicing, unwittingly helps feed into what has become a crutch for her after the loss of Oz. This in itself would have been fine, but let's not forget that Willow is Buffy's spirit, and much of her story represents Buffy's own.
Mom? Mom? Mommy?
And so,
Fine. Let's get crazy.
after losing Oz and struck with the potential of losing Tara, there is now a crack in Willow. Something that could have far-reaching effects on her. Until...
I got so lost. I found you.
That was close.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Willow defines herself by those around her, and her friendship with Buffy runs deep. Her death has torn her to the core, and she can't let go.
This is deep stuff, Willow. We're talking about raising the dead.
It's time we stop talking.
Willow's addiction isn't to magic like Tara believes.
Willow, you are using too much magic. What do you want me to do? Just sit back and keep my mouth shut?
Well, that'd be a good start.
It's to control. She feels like she has none, and that in some way she is responsible for the loss of those around her. When Buffy returns, she is missing something. A part of her is lost, or no longer there.
Don't you see? You came back wrong.
Like her spirit has been fundamentally damaged. This can be taken as Buffy missing the heaven that she was ripped from, but I believe this also represents the damage to her spirit, Willow. Willow has a desperate need to hold those close to her tight. At the same time, her dependency on magic has now been associated with her ability to keep her loved ones safe. And so, she makes the biggest mistake of her life.
You know what? Can we not do this now? I'm tired.
Okay. Let's just forget it ever happened. Forget.
She takes from Tara to protect her vision of their relationship. She takes away her free will.
I'm under your spell. God, how can this be? Playing with my memory. You know I've been through hell. Willow, don't you see? There'll be nothing left of me.
Anyone who has ever dealt with an addict understands that the need is strong. So much so that it takes priority even over those closest to them. And just when she gets a hold of herself...
Think again.
Your shirt. Tara?
And as traumatic as this already was, in Willow's fragile state it destroyed her. Buffy's spirit is broken, and this is absolutely heart-wrenching, and the viewers feel every moment of it. Not just because of the loss of a beloved character in Tara, but this is the start of the spiral of the purest member of the Scooby Gang.
You were the chosen one!
To a place where there is no coming back.
I know you're in pain, but...
Bored now.
As always in BTVS, there is more going on than what's on the page. What ensues is Buffy's fight to regain her spirit, the soul she feels she is missing.
Oh, Buffy. You really need to have every square inch of your ass kicked. And show me what you got.
When she fails, she applies her mind.
And there's no one in the world who has the power to stop me now.
I'd like to test that theory.
And when that fails, her heart.
Hey, black-eyed girl. What you doing?
Xander gets a lot of flack from the community, and I plan on doing a video defending him, so I won't hark on about this too much.
I love you.
Stop!
But this is also a metaphor for Buffy's conflict in being in this world as she finds what she needs to fight for again. At the start of season 7, Willow goes to England with Giles, where she thinks she will be punished.
I thought it was to kill me. Or to lock me in some mystical dungeon for all eternity here with the torture. Instead, you go all Dumbledore on me.
These quiet moments of reflection become an important first step in her recovery. Willow is unique for the core Scoobies, as she is like an alcoholic on the road to redemption.
For God's sake, shut your whimpering mouth!
And as mentioned before, it was her that fought for Angel's soul. It's only fitting, then, that she makes the journey to Angel.
We need to put Angelus down.
I don't think so. I think you need a witch.
A show all about the road to recovery.
He was gonna save him.
Or did he choose to be a little slow on the draw? Whoops! Dinner by armed robbery.
Well, I never flayed. I had a woman chained in a closet.
Oh, well, hey.
No, it doesn't compare.
No, dark, that's dark. You've been to a place.
And brings back with her someone else looking for absolution.
Oh, don't mention it. I got a slayer out of the deal, so we're even Steven.
Finally, in an act of selflessness, she uses all her power to empower the helpless across the world. This brings her not only the redemption she seeks, but it elevates her to a higher level. And, in a shining moment, Willow, all-powerful, acts as a bridge to female empowerment and almost literally becomes a goddess. This fulfills her redemption arc. She is the tool that allows Buffy and the other Slayers to fight the first evil, to combat their self-doubt, and finally, in the end, allow Buffy to cross the threshold into adulthood.
Yeah, you're not the one and only chosen anymore. Just gotta live like a person. How's that feel?
Did you agree with my analysis? Maybe not. Either way, leave a comment below, maybe a like and a subscribe, and until next time, take it easy.